live from beautiful Lake Vancouver in Vancouver, Washington, which is nowhere near Canada. Although, if you took a ride, you could probably get to Canada. In fact, you might want to go to Canada lately. Uh, we are the Aunty Sochelle Hour ish. And today we have a fabulous guest who is going to I'm going to take out my eyeballs so I can see the camera. Is a absolutely a brilliant writer. She's creative. She's thoughtful. She's thought provoking. She writes really cool stuff on Bluesky, and she's also a gamer like you. And I'm looking specifically at you. She is one of us. I'd like to introduce. Yeah. Did I just? Yeah. I just invented a new word. It's which I think is some sort of punk song I just made up. But her name is Aysha Farah. She's awesome. Let's start talking to her. I'll shut my face. She doesn't realize I'm not looking at her anymore. I'm looking at the camera. So if I start looking down, that means I'm looking at the pretty girl.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm looking at my cat's butt is right behind me there. So hi there, how are you, Aysha?
I'm
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wicked pissa, as they say in my Beantown world. So, I always talk like this because it's a reflection of my mother's voice. She grew up in Mission Hill, which is Roxbury, which is part of Boston. I don't know if you're familiar with that area whatsoever, but
I was just in Boston a couple of months ago, but I don't know that area specifically.
what did you do there?
I was visiting friends. I know a ton of people in Boston for some reason, like just like a ton of them.
It's a good city.
Yeah.
It's got a subway. It's got really good pizza. If you go to the
Yeah.
Pleasant Cafe and North End is really good because I'm half Italian, half Irish. So
Oh, okay.
I yell at myself an awful lot. So
Yeah. I went to Boston in February, which was stupid. It's very cold, especially for my ass because I live in North Carolina, so I'm a pussy about cold. Uh,
in North Carolina, that's like totally different, you know. It's like way different. They talk like more like that. Yeah.
That sounds a little California surfer to me.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I lived in. Let me see. I'm trying to find my North Carolina. Oh, I remember my cousin
Mhm.
Ricky's from North Carolina. He talked like that.
Yeah, it's a little closer.
Yeah, he would talk about barbecue and his summer hot and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how'd you end up in North Carolina? Is that where you're from?
No, I'm from DC. My cousins and uncle, like a part of my family lived in North Carolina, and my uncle was going overseas for a while, so he let me live in his house for free for a little while.
Okay.
I don't live there anymore. This was a while ago, but I was like, yeah, okay. I graduated from the University of Maryland, and I would have stayed in DC if I could have afforded it, but I couldn't. So I came down to North Carolina, and that was, oh man, that was like 11 years ago. So I've been here for a while.
Wow. Yeah, DC is
Yeah.
a big difference from North Carolina. People don't understand that, like the city, DC is just a city, unless
Yeah.
you're like Virginia or someplace out. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
so was it a big culture shock for you?
A little bit like everybody's like nicer down
Uh,
here. They're more polite
Bless your heart.
for sure. Yeah. Um Mostly the weird thing to me was that people would say hi to you on the street, which was always very weird
Uh,
because you don't do that where I'm from.
no,
You don't talk to your neighbors. Yeah.
and the more East Coast, you're like New York and Boston and
hmm
it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. But now I smile at people on the street, and I'll have to stop myself from doing it when I go to New York.
Oh no. People think, okay, what are they after?
Oh yeah, what is she on?
My wallet like a little outside of my pocket.
Yeah.
Some people wonder. So you write video games.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Not you don't write the scripting, you actually write the stories.
Well, yeah, yes. Well, yes, I don't program. I write the stories of the games and I write the scripts in the words in
Yeah.
the games.
We have a friend Stephen no I'm gonna blank out on his last name. We have a fellow from Baldur's Gate that's going to be talking to us too about his writing for Baldur's Gate. So that
Oh, okay.
I'm really amped up about anybody who's writing. First of all, I wanted to go to, I don't know if anybody in the planet has ever heard the school Emerson, but it's a school in,
Oh, Emerson. Yeah, I got into Emerson actually.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I couldn't afford it.
Nobody could afford it. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got into it when I was 17. I still had, I graduated out of high school early. It's like, okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emerson was the school, and everybody kept saying, go to Emerson, you could write for anybody.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Like kidneys you'd have to sell to afford Emerson.
Yeah. I got into a bunch of schools and I got into Hampshire, I got into Emerson, I got into Sarah Lawrence, and I could only afford to go to the University of Maryland,
Aw.
which, in retrospect, probably best. Otherwise, I would have ended up with like $50,000 of student debt for what? For
Right.
writing video games.
Right. Yeah. I went to art school. I went to Mass College of Art, which was at the time back in the Stone Ages, because I'm 60, I'll be 61 in a couple of weeks. Was $250 a semester. So
Wow.
that
Yeah.
was so much easier.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
Cal Arts, which was you buy a house every few weeks.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So that's cool. So you went there, you learned how to be smart. Well, you're already smart because you got into all those schools. So you're obviously
Mhm.
not an idiot. Sarah
I
Lawrence.
got good grades, so
Were you like me? Were you like a reader when you were a kid growing up, and
yeah.
D&D person, or what?
I was never a D&D person, but I did read a lot, and my dad is also a writer, so also got a lot of I mean, my dad is like my dad is Arab, so I have like an immigrant parent, and if you have immigrant parents, they tend to be very serious about school.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I definitely got a lot of pressure to do well in school when I was younger.
that's so cool though. Yeah, but and when you get pressure, my husband's Chinese, so I totally get it. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's like, what's his sister do? A lawyer. What's his other sister do? A lawyer.
yeah.
What's his,
Yeah.
I
My
work for
dad's a lawyer, his brother's a doctor. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
what do you do? I go to comedy, of course.
Yeah.
This is, but you decided to write at a very young age, didn't you? Weren't you wrote from small age?
Yeah, yeah. I was writing fan fiction on the internet from the time I was like 13, 14.
So cool. What
Um,
type of fan were you of?
I wrote a bunch of like video game, like Kingdom Hearts fiction, stuff like that.
Let's say I looked any of it up.
You will never find it.
I hunted hard.
Um, yeah, and I started writing short stories. I think my first short story I got published when I was maybe like 23.
Wow,
Um,
it's pretty fast.
yeah. And then I had a number of short stories published throughout my 20s, and I didn't start writing for games until I was maybe like 28 or 29.
That's cool. But that's
Yeah.
still, it's amazing. Did you have to get an agent to write games, or did somebody
No.
like pick up your
Absolutely not. I don't have an agent. Um,
I'll hook you.
so how I got into games, I always have to ask this question every interview I do. Do
Oh,
you know what Homestuck is?
I do not know what Homestuck is.
Okay. Maybe some of your viewers will. So it is a webcomic from 2009 originally. It ran from 2009 to 2016, and it is well known for being impenetrable if you haven't read it. Has a very rabid fandom. If you've ever been to a convention and seen people in gray body paint with
Ah,
little candy corn horns,
now
that's
I know.
Homestuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing. I had
yeah.
no idea.
So I read Homestuck for some reason in my mid 20s. I can't even remember why at this point. And then I ended up getting introduced through some friends to the guy who wrote it, Andrew Hussey, and we became friends. And a couple years later, he was like, "Hey, I've got a video game that we're making in the Homestuck universe. I need a writer. Do you want to write for it?" So I came on board to work on that. And very quickly, the lead writer of that had to leave for like family reasons. So I was suddenly the narrative director of this game, and I didn't know anything about games.
Oh my,
Like, I mean, I've grown up playing games, but I had
whole
never
different thing behind
worked on
this.
a game.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, so I had to very quickly teach myself everything.
So trial by fire for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what was the biggest lesson you learned? How not to get
Um,
fired? Oh.
I mean, the biggest lesson I will like lessons like what is a build? I learned stuff like that. But the biggest thing, it was mostly learning like how much of leading a team is just managing anxiety. Like
Ah,
managing your team's anxiety, managing the client's anxiety, managing your own anxiety, just kind of like keeping everybody calm and working.
okay.
It's like so much of it.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got thrown into Adobe in a similar situation. I was an art director for .com, and somebody said, "By the way, we're getting bought by Adobe." Oh, that's nice. Am
Ooh.
I out
Oh
of a job?
no.
Oh no, you're in charge of 35 people now.
We're moving to a prescription model.
Yes, exactly. So, oh, Xanax.
Mhm.
Yeah, same type of thing. But the trial by fire was interesting. Again, you have to learn how to, deal with personalities too. That must
Oh
have
yeah.
been fun.
Yeah, and it was a very small studio, so we were like there was no HR, there's no PR, like it was just a bunch of, people hanging out in a Discord server making something. Um, which is what a lot of video
A lot of
game
really
companies are, except it's mostly hanging out on Slack, I guess, a lot of times.
Mhm.
But and when I got the job at Deck Nine, which was my big break, I guess, or whatever. That is, hanging out on Slack. So
Cool. I know networking is huge. I don't think people understand that networking is the best way to find anything.
yeah, yeah. Deck Nine, I actually is shockingly was I didn't know anybody there. I just cold applied, which is actually now in retrospect crazy
And brave.
because it's so hard to get. I guess the industry was a little bit better back in like 2021, which is when I got that job. Now it's like 7,000 people competing for one job. Um, a job opens up and we all swarm to it like locusts. Because I got laid off in December, so
Yeah, this is the weird thing about, people don't understand gaming. I mean, there's a lot of schools that will teach you about how to be a game developer. They don't teach you how to handle life because it's a very temporary position in a lot of cases. No matter who
yeah,
you work for, like I worked at EA, I worked at Ubisoft, you work for these
yeah,
companies and you think, I got a job here, I'm gonna be so and so.
yeah,
And then, oh, but that
no,
game is on hold now. And you
yeah,
can't talk
yeah,
about it for the rest of your life
yeah,
because it's not gonna
yep. I know multiple people who have worked for a ton of very big companies, worked on all these AAA projects,
happen.
never had a single thing ship. Like are very deep into their career, but have nothing that they can put on their
Yes.
portfolio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I know people, I will say this, I could say this because it's off her NDA. She worked from the Wonder Woman game
Oh,
and
yeah. I know a bunch of people from that
yeah,
too.
they're telling me, I worked in this game and I can't tell you what it's all about. I can't tell you anything in it. I could just tell you I worked in it.
Well,
They announced that that game existed.
yeah, the project that I got laid off from, it hasn't been announced, so I can't talk about it or
And that's
put
all
any of the
a lot of
stuff.
people don't understand. They don't
Yeah.
understand. There's a thing called the IP law, which is actually what my husband's involved with. That's what he does for a living. Um, Intellectual property law, and they have
Mhm.
things called NDAs, which is non-disclosure agreements.
Mhm.
And you have to sign this and make sure your firstborn is okay and not going to read about it, in 10 years' time. They give you a time limit for how long
Yeah.
talk about things, and people don't understand that. Like you could give them a portfolio. Oh, where's your recent stuff? Can't show it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that. There's some rules with like, I don't know. I think NDAs kind of can be hard to enforce, especially across like state lines. But you just don't want to have a reputation in the industry for being somebody who breaks NDA.
Ah,
Like this is a very small industry. Like that's the thing. Everybody knows everybody.
oh
So if you are shitty to work with, everybody knows it.
yeah, yeah. And if you're great to work with, everybody wants you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
Except right now, because now,
oh,
right now, it's like, I don't know, I guess like mid-career. I've been in games for like 7 years, but I'm competing against people who've been writing in the games industry for 20 years because everybody's lost their fucking job. So, hopefully, yeah, I have a couple uh good bets, but anything can just go up in smoke at any time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's studios that I know in Montreal that are like hiring people left and right. And then I know people have gotten job offers. They go up there, they move their entire families up there, and the week they're supposed to start, yeah, about that nice big thing we were offering you, we're gonna have to rescind the job offer.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, I know people who've had that's happened to, and that's insane. It should be fucking illegal. That's so insane.
yes, absolutely.
Um, my big thing, like I have a lot of like young aspiring game devs and young game writers who will message me or come to me and ask me for advice or like ask me what I think about going into the industry. And what I always say is that like if you're a writer, games like AAA, even some indies, it is a reliable way to actually make money writing because a lot of these salaries are pretty high. However,
Yeah.
there's like 7 jobs and all 10,000 of us are competing for them. So,
And you are one of the best, honestly. I mean,
thank you.
you've worked on Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm actually going through the newest one.
Double exposure. Yeah.
I'm going through that one right now.
Yeah.
Uh, because you do. Once people get into a game, it's like, well, I'm a completionist. I can't not do the next
Yeah.
one. So,
Yeah. Yep. Double exposure. Worked on that one. Yeah.
The other ones people would recognize that you're allowed to talk about.
Well, I actually like I've only worked on double exposure, and then another project that I can't talk that
Yeah.
one day maybe I'll be able to talk about.
One day we'll hear all about it.
Yeah.
Girls. Yeah, it's a one of the things I really like about you is you play other games that aren't from your companies. And I think that helps you learn more, does it?
Yeah, I mean, I love video games. I have my whole life. Like my dad, I started playing them with my dad when I was like a tiny child.
Aw.
And the first game I ever remember really loving and becoming obsessed with was Grim Fandango when I was like
Love it.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it. I was so obsessed with it. I wanted to be like a cool cigarette smoking skeleton. Um, but yeah, I mainly my hobby is that I play games. People are like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" I'm like, I play video games.
What do you do for a job? I voice video games. What do you do for fun? I
Yeah.
play video games.
Yeah, I play video games and I go to the gym.
Yes.
It's like the two things that I do.
You say hi to your cats, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So you did something this year that I usually do every year, which is go to GDC, which is Game
Hmm.
Conference. For those who don't know what that is, tell me, you won a scholarship this year to go there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was part of the Amplifying New Voices scholarship, which goes to show you like you can be in the industry for 7 years and still be a new voice. But yeah, it was great. They paid for the all access pass, which is like $2,000. It's so expensive. It's crazy how expensive they are. And they also gave you a travel stipend, so it was like a really great deal. I wouldn't have been able to go without it. So shout out to them. It's really worth applying to if you are a relatively newcomer to the industry and
Under 10 years. I always tell people if you're under 10 years, you've come.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's so
But yeah.
there's so much stuff they throw at you.
Mhm.
Did you do any of the weird workshops where you just kind of develop a story or develop a
I didn't do any of the workshops. I went to some talks. I mostly just hung out with people and met people. It was great. Like I was really shocked by how lovely everybody was because I had heard so many like people talk about GDC like it's nom. Like people are really crazy about it, and I had a great time. I mean, I'm naturally like an extrovert, like, and I'm good with crowds, so it wasn't like though I did sometimes have to go like sit by myself in a dark room because there is a lot of people
It's
constantly.
overwhelming. Yeah, it does
But
get.
yeah, I met a ton of really great people, like people that I'd known online and people that I hadn't ever heard of before. But I
Wasn't there an Astarian guy there? Did you?
yeah, the guy who played Asterion, yeah,
Leaving. Yep. He was.
yeah. I went to his talk about mocap
Oh,
because
yeah, and he and his wife are both teaching at a school in London.
oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
okay.
him and then a mocap director
Brilliant.
dude. who was French. I don't remember his name. Shout out to that guy though. But yeah, it was great. It was a really good panel. I have done some mocap directing on or like with the director, Jonathan Stouter. I would stand next to him. But yeah, I really loved going and watching the mocap. That was
And
always
do you do
fun.
acting as well?
I voice acted a little.
Oh,
I've done voice acting in podcasts and in one of the games that I made. There was no voice acting in any of the Homestuck games except for my voice for maybe like 6 lines because there's the villain character at the spoilers for Pester Quest, the spin-off game from Homestuck. The villain is a character named the Director, and it's just me. Um, so, but it makes sense in Homestuck canon, kind of. But
I gotta get into this.
yeah, the character is like talking and is like, "Hey, see, because I'm the director, I can do anything. See, I can even talk out loud." And then I start talking, and I was like, "Oh, actually, um, putting voice lines into RenPy, the software RenPy sucks, so I'm gonna stop doing this." And then it just goes back to text.
Great.
Yeah, but and I've been the villain in multiple things actually.
Asked again.
Yeah.
But you're such a nice and lovely girl.
Oh, thanks.
Now, I when I started, it was in the early, oh, actually, it was the late '80s when I started in computer games and things.
Mhm.
I actually started playing games back when Pong was big, and there was a thing called an arcade, and you would have a stack of quarters, which would mean that your entire left side of your body would be leaning to the side. Um, you throw quarters into Pac-Man, and you throw quarters into Tron, and Galaga, and all these things. And I was talking to Dave Jones, who's Halson on Baldur's, and
Mhm.
he said one of his favorite games was Monkey Island when he was a kid.
I also love Monkey Island.
If you like Grim Fandango, you must
Yeah.
love Monkey Island.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yep.
same type of thing. The formatting of how you put words into games is way different from writing in stories. When
Yeah.
you're writing for a book or you're writing for a movie, like I write a lot of scripts
Mhm.
that aren't game scripts, they're TV and movie scripts.
Mhm.
Horror is my other life.
Mhm.
Um, when you write for scripts and things for games, what type, you said you've mentioned a bit of software that you use or a form or a CRM that
So it depends what kind of game it is. At for everything that I did on Hiveswap and everything I did on The Sky Left Us, which is the game that I sent that I gave you the demo for, those are visual novels. And then also Hiveswap is a point and click adventure game. So all of those scripts are just in Google Docs and they have like codes that then correspond to
they pull up
spreadsheets
data.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deck Nine had a in-house um, scripting software that is a lot like Ink. I don't know if you've ever used Ink. So it's a lot of like like very simple coding if you are a programmer. I have never coded anything in my life. So I had to learn how to
Tag thing.
use this well yeah like with variables and stuff like that, like if
Here's a
if
shell
Max
in a
picks this
database.
up then this happens, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was quite a lot of that
Yeah.
um working on double exposure,
I know
but
at EA we had a lot of database driven games and it was all if thens and or thens.
yeah, a lot of that, yeah, else
Oh,
if
yes.
yeah.
That was the name of one of the people's stuffed animals was she had an elephant named Elsif.
That's really good, actually. I love that. Oh, I wish I'd thought of that. Yeah, else if. Game writing, there is a lot of things that kind of, especially in like double exposure and Life is Strange, because there's lots of scenes that are just like cinematic movie scenes, or maybe even more accurately, like stage scenes. Um, but most of the writing in games is not cinematics. Most of it is um, shit you find lying around, like directive text, clues, stuff the character says to themselves, stuff you
Horizon
find in.
Forbidden West is nothing but
Yeah,
Ashley Birch saying, "Oh look, a leaf. Oh look,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, Max talking to herself in her head and being like,
yes,
"Oh, hello, Mr. Statue, or whatever bullshit she
I wonder
says.
if that key can be used somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of that. And then we had a lot of like there's Max's journal, and then she's got our fake our Twitter clone crosstalk
Right.
that is just like a bunch of like Twitter conversations, and then she's like text messages too. So there's just a ton of like other writing that we had to do.
Deep.
Um,
There's things you don't
yeah, there's a
know.
yeah.
That's amazing. So you have you've had the industry in your life for a while now. I noticed when I started there was a very big old boys club issue. There was one of the games. I tell this story a lot to students that I've had to do voice classes with me. There's one of the games that I worked on. I walked in one day. I was surrounded by guys who looked like the stereotypical in the basement, beards growing, Coke can sitting right here, just straight out of that cartoon character of what you expect
Yeah.
a developer to look like. And they were asking for creatives to come in and do more art and do more writing, and they wanted them to do both, which at the time was what you did. You took
Mhm.
on 3 or 4 things.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and the first thing out of anybody's mouth was some guy in the back going, "Girls aren't gonna like video games." That was the end of the interview. That was like it. I was like, okay,
Wow.
done. We did that. We won't talk about Ubisoft anymore. But that was a horrible experience.
Yeah, God, I'm glad it's not that bad anymore. There definitely is a boys club. That is definitely a thing. Um, I have been lucky that I have worked with a lot of terrific men who do not put you in the boys club. However, I have definitely come across situations where I am telling someone who I am their I'm higher on the totem pole than them because I was a lead,
Mhm.
and I would talk and I would be like, he's not listening to me. He's not listening to a single word I'm fucking saying. And it's like it's kind of a weird thing to experience because I don't know. I think that like if when you're a professional and you work with people every day and you're in a group that is filled with a lot of men, like I feel like that you kind of start like you're like, okay, sexism, whatever. Like I'll be like every so often I'll be reminded that sexism exists and I'll be like, oh yeah.
Slam in the face, though. It's
Like
not just
I'm
a
like
little
I
pinch.
always am like, am I making it up? And then it's like, oh no, no, I'm not. It does exist.
You get a lot of that. Yeah, we're going out to drink afterwards with the boys. What? No.
I mean, like I would always go out and drink with the boys. Like there was lots of groups that it was just me and a ton of dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I love guys. Like I hang out with a lot of guys. A lot of my friends are guys, but I think that there's also I talked about this on I went to on a podcast called Talking to Women About Video Games. Um and I talked to the host there and I said I feel like a lot of this it doesn't come from hatred of women. It comes from the fact that mixed groups of people are going to just naturally have more friction. They're going to create a higher quality product. Like there's literally like studies that have shown that the more diverse your group is, the better your output is, just because there's a bunch of different ideas. And but when there's a bunch of different kinds of people with a bunch of different kinds of needs, there's going to be friction. And I think that there are a lot of people in management in video games who are just not equipped to deal with that. So they're like, it's easier if just everybody's in the treehouse and we all can sort of like talk to each other. Like we don't even have to deal with any of that.
Right.
So I don't, and I think that is sexism, but I don't think that it's like misogyny,
Right.
maybe.
Make it an episode of Charlie Brown as opposed to making it an episode of Friends, where everybody
Right.
this cute little role of I've got to be cute and I've got to do this.
Right. So I think that that's a lot of it. I think that a lot of and then there are definitely I think guys who I don't know, like when they look at me, they see the girl that rejected them in high school. And I'm like, bro, I am not the girl who wouldn't go to prom with you. Please stop taking it out on me.
That was my mother. No.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mansplain. Are you familiar with Gail Simone? I'm sure you are.
Yes, I am.
Who's one of the most incredible comic writers on the planet. She often has to deal with people mansplaining her own comics to her.
Yeah.
They don't realize that it's her name on the side of the book there.
Yeah. I mean, in general, I think that games as an industry, um, it's weird. It's because like I think that game devs I have found are way more welcoming than sometimes the fans are. But um because there was like Deck Nine, tons of dudes there that I still talk to, still very close to. My director, Jonathan Stouter. Yeah, my Jonathan Stouter, my director, absolutely wonderful man. Like I worked with him every day, loved him. He also got laid off. Um, but yeah, so
You guys won an award, didn't you? Didn't you?
yeah, we recently did win an award, yes.
Tell that story. That was kind of funny.
Oh, the Social Impact Award.
Yes, that was kind of funny to hear.
Yeah, so we won the GDC Social Impact Award, but there was nobody there to pick it up because everybody had been laid off. Actually, they said that, but one of our narrative designers, Giselle from my team, was in the audience, and she could have gone up and she was like, "Wait, I feel like I'm having a stroke. I'm here."
Aw.
Yeah, yeah,
Aw.
yeah, but yeah, but it's really nice to win the award. I'm glad that people voted for it. I think that um
That is
it's
just
a great.
easier for new jobs later on too, because you
Yeah, we got an honorable mention for narrative too, which is cool. But yeah, I think it's a great game. I think that the lead writer of the game, Deandra Warwick, was absolutely did such a fantastic job, and she 100% deserves that social impact award. Um, and yeah, I had a great time working on it.
so cool. What do you see yourself doing? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Games are changing so rapidly.
Yeah,
I mean, mocap is becoming the prominent way to develop all the animation, but AI is taking over so much
yeah.
stuff. And I know as a voice actor, right now, a lot of us are on strike right now, unless we're working in
Hmm.
independent or student projects, which we're allowed to do.
Right.
There's a strike going on because AI is not part of the contract. If they hear your voice and they see it recorded and your voice is now fed into this AI machine, whatever it is, chat,
Hmm.
whatever the hell it's going to be called next week, they can recreate you.
Yeah.
And there's a fellow named Mark Cashman we just talked to who's a voice coach, but we see our lives changing that way. Is AI affecting writing as well?
So I don't think that it's affecting it as much as it's affecting art. Writing, producing readable writing with AI is just, it's not easy. Like it sounds very weird. Um, I don't, so my fear with AI is this. I'm worried that what happened to translation is going to happen to writing. Because translation was and still is in some cases a very high skilled art.
It's
It right, like translating like a Murakami novel from Japanese to English is like you're basically like writing a story all your own too. It's like an extremely high skill set.
single character
But
45 different things.
right. And because of Google Translate, which is very useful for when you're trying to find a bathroom in Seoul or something like that. And I'm not saying that it's not useful, but like because now people are like, oh, well, I can just translate something by pressing a button, and it really devalued translation, which means that translations are getting worse and worse and worse and worse because the people who are the most skilled don't like are not going to take these jobs to translate things for no money. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about happening to writing. I'm worried that writing will, like, AI will become good enough that people start settling for worse writing. And game writing is sometimes not that good anyway. But I mean, there are lots of companies that are very anti-AI. Like they're like I've even seen like the DLC for Alan Wake 2, Lake House. It was literally about how everything went bad because they tried to feed they like an AI caused all the problems, which
You're
I
still
thought was
playing
very
it, aren't
funny.
you? Yes, you are.
Huh?
You're still playing it, aren't you?
I'm always playing Alan Wake.
That's just the whole. I would just remember the dancing scene.
I've played Alan Wake like Alan Wake 2 specifically. I've played like 5 times maybe in the last year and a half.
There's so and every time what I love about good game writing is every time you play something a different time, you'll pick up something. I didn't even see that last time. How did I not notice this last time? Because somebody
Yeah.
so well, they're just like, oh, that's like
Yeah.
I got it. I think game writing is wonderful because you become a detective on how to think. It
Hmm.
becomes a lesson in critical thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just made it sound really boring, which it's not. So,
I do love game writing and I uh games yeah, writing has improved so much just exponentially in games throughout the last few years that there's some games that are just like this is just art.
yeah.
Um
Well, good.
Disco Elysium.
Yes, I was gonna say I was those that
Yeah.
was the two words that were just sitting on my tongue. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's been playing disco for since it came out. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
That's their game.
I mean, you can. There's so fucking much stuff in there. You can just
Skyrim is becoming that way for some folks too. So
Skyrim, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like almost 200 hours into Elden Ring. Like, I understand.
That game was my first time playing something that was uh am I gonna die every 45 seconds?
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I played Sekiro before that, which is my favorite FromSoft game and is harder than Elden Ring,
beautiful.
kind of. But it's more
Like,
it's more fun.
yeah, yeah. It's and again, it's that whole idea that you could do critical thinking and the writing that goes on with games isn't just the writing with the dialogue. It is the writing of how to make that story flow.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elden Ring, like FromSoft's writing is so notoriously hidden from you that like there's whole like I have a podcast about literally Elden Ring lore because I've played 150 hours of Elden Ring and I don't know what it's about.
That's funny.
So I'm having people come on and explain it to me.
Oh, that now
Yeah.
adding that to my list. I got it. Okay, cool. And I got my Elden Ring dolls over there. I have the Wall of Women over here, so
Oh, nice.
I've got quite a few Elden Ring pieces over there. So
Oh, really? Do you have Melania?
that's the one I'm missing. That's the one I'm missing. Oh gosh, what's her name? Blue girl. What's her name?
Nefelilu?
The first one you meet who's giving you the as soon as you see it, you're gonna say, why did you forget that name? Ooh,
Oh, Ronnie.
you, Ronnie. I'm like, it's not mama. It's yeah. Yeah, she's beautiful. And I
I
have
love Ronnie. Yeah, I got her ending when I beat the
oh,
game.
such a great character. And I just love falling in love with characters. And you fall, it's like, oh, when they die in a game, you feel hurt. You feel
Yeah,
emotional.
and in Elden Ring, everybody, almost everybody ends up dead. You're ruining everybody's life.
Like, oh, I got so close to that one. Oh, they're gone. Yeah,
Yeah, bye.
yeah.
Bye, handsome lobster man.
My favorite storekeep is the guy that plays the music while he's sitting by the graveyard. He's just sitting
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, just oh, and
The
I
merchants, they're
yeah,
nice. Yeah. The giant turtle with the Pope hat.
yes, the Pope turtle.
Love
Yes.
him. Love him.
So many great characters. The ones I can't stand are the bubble monsters up on the tree.
Oh, the guys are like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we in the first episode of the podcast, which is the only one that's out so far, we talk a lot about those bubble guys.
Oh, they're so evil.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that killed me the most in the entire game. I got through so many things, but
What killed me the most is gravity. I am always fucking rolling off shit.
falling off shit. It's like
Yeah.
I climbed up here. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Me and my horse sliding off the cliff.
I do miss Skyrim that you could ride the horse sideways.
Yeah, I did. So I am like a known, I do not like open world games usually. I didn't like Skyrim, hated Skyrim. My wife liked Skyrim though. So when I started playing Elden Ring, she made fun of me by being like, babe, you just got tricked into playing Skyrim.
Oh, sky crack here. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'll see you in a weekend. It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And what else am I playing? Oh, right now I'm playing Pentiment.
Oh, I haven't played that yet. I
Oh,
haven't.
it's terrific.
I
It's
have I have two PlayStations, three PCs, and the laptop that you're on now. And now the dog's barking in the background.
yeah.
But that's how game addicted I am. And 17 terabytes of games sitting below me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I just got a Steam Deck because like when the tariffs got announced,
Steam Deck.
I
Yes.
was like, oh shit, I should get a Steam Deck
Yes.
before
It goes
it becomes $5,000.
and they're so good.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there in bed with my Baldur's Gate on my belly. Just
Yeah.
and I fell in love
Yeah.
with everybody in Baldur's Gate too.
I haven't played Baldur's Gate. I
Oh,
need to.
you will get sucked in like there's no
Yeah, I haven't because I don't super love that kind of battle.
dragon battle stuff.
Yeah. I'm not huge into the Neverwinter Nights type battle system, but I have been told that I will adore Asterion, which because I was a did you play Dragon Age?
Yes, Dragon's Age was one of the first games.
Okay, so I was a huge Fenris girly. So everybody was
Oh, yeah.
like, so you'll love Asterion.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Dragon's Age, the very first Dragon's Age, and Origins were the first two I've ever worked on. So my
Oh, really?
yes. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
100 years ago, 100 back again before you were born, way before you were born.
Dragon Age 2 is my favorite RPG.
It is one of the best RPGs. I've never played anything that was turn-based until Baldur's Gate. I just didn't,
Yeah.
really, except for when I played the Dragon's Age stuff, it was still not turn-based in my head.
Yeah.
Dogs are singing opera. I don't mind them. So they're we have a bunch of bunnies that showed up a couple days ago, and now they're trying to hump the bunnies. So it's weird when you're a game fan and then you become a game writer and you become like addicted to one of the things I'm trying to learn is Korean because
Oh, yeah.
I want to learn to be able to tell the stories in the right language,
I can't think of like not loving games if you become a game writer because the industry is such a nightmare. Like, why else would you do it?
Right. You have to absolutely be addicted. If you could sit, my dog is gone bananas. Don't mind her. Everybody ignore the dog. There's a drinking game now, folks. If you hear the dogs barking, you take your favorite liquid. I'm going to take a Blue Label liquid. I won't say which one it is because nobody sponsors this show. The dogs are barking, so I'm drinking. So after the show, I will drink something a little bit more rum influenced.
Rum based, yeah.
It's Friday. Got to do the rum. Okay, so I was going to ask you. I don't even know. I have fun talking to you. I have fun talking to you online too, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah.
You're just funny. You're a funny human being. So
thank you.
I admire anybody that has a great sense of humor.
Thank you. Yeah, when I got laid off, I was like, oh gosh, I have to become funny online again in order to get jobs.
Somebody has to like me. Oh. It's that way with stand-up too, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But how much of your personality comes out in your stories, or do you think it's just you separate enough?
I mean, I think depends on the characters. There's a couple characters in Double Exposure that have a lot of me in them. Safi has a lot of me, and Vin Lang, the mean boy, has a lot of me in him too.
You do like playing the villain.
Yeah. I mean, I like jerks. I like mean boys.
They stick in your memory better too.
Yeah. So I also like Vin is like a gay theater kid, and like so was I.
That was everybody I grew up. That was my people. Those three people that I always hung out with: the drag queens, the gay kids, and then the ones that just didn't have any labels whatsoever. Those were my
yeah.
So But the dragon,
Yeah.
oh my God, they were
Yeah.
still my favorite.
So
So
of course the two most controversial characters are the ones that are my favorite.
they put you on the map. It's okay. Um, what do you want to do if you could own a game company? What would you produce?
Um, I mean, I think I would want to make a game like Alan Wake 2. Like I would want to make something that is extremely like mixed media,
Huh?
has a lot of like strange elements. Did like the fact that game having so many like discordant non-game elements, like they just have you sit there and watch a experimental film for 15 minutes and the musical number and just like the live action cutscenes. I
Like
was like, I
in a
didn't,
Maya Deren movie or something.
yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't know this was legal. Like this. So like I'd love to make something like that. I would love to work with at Remedy. Um,
That's
but yeah, so I would love to work with a like I really like working with actors. I really like working like with I like trippy bullshit, like
I
Twin
love
Peaksy.
the newest Yakuza, the Hawaiian one.
Oh
It's
yeah, I haven't played that one.
I also like
Yeah.
Deathloop too, because Deathloop was just weird to me too.
Oh, I love Deathloop.
And did you like Detroit?
And I don't really like Quantic Dream games. I played Heavy Rain when I was my cousin and I played Heavy Rain, and we just all we did was we came up with like an elaborate backstory for that FBI agent for some reason, and that's why it was fun. But I've heard Detroit is good. I haven't played it.
It's like being
Um,
inside the movie with incredible,
yeah,
and you feel
yeah,
like you're just as like I'm just as good as Jesse. I'm just as good as Neil Newman. I feel like I'm just as good as them. And you know, meanwhile, Clancy Brown's or whoever's the star in that. Clancy Brown's one of the actors in there. He's phenomenal. Everybody's so good acting that you forget
yeah.
playing a game.
Our actors on Double Exposure, a lot of them were like local theater talent. And
I
it
just
was
have
really great.
some of the best
Yeah.
in theater.
There are some terrific people in that game. And I mean like Hannah Tell is fabulous.
Mhm.
She's really good.
And you would never guess. I mean, you would never guess that their background was whatever it was, because you would think, okay, this person should be getting an Academy Award right now, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, Hannah's a neuroscientist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Um,
Amazing. It's amazing to me. It's a phenomenal world because it is so different from another person we were talking to is Michael Broussard earlier, who talks about a lot about Doctor Who and how that world kind of saved him from
yeah.
the world that he grew up in. And it is like that. You go into video games and you become part of this world and you enter and it's like this makes sense to me. This is the way we do things. This is how we don't do things. There's always this kindness on the underlay, even when
Yeah.
shitty characters and being dicks and you want to punch them in the face and kill them and whatever, you still want to hug the dragon.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so much
Well,
good.
it's like somebody made this. That's like, and that's why I don't want AI to take over because I like having the feeling and it's like somebody made this. This is this way. Even when something sucks, it's like somebody made this for a reason.
Yeah,
And a lot of times when it sucks, it's because they made it under very difficult circumstances or they just had bad taste, and that's also human.
the worst.
Um,
Okay, saying hi. The worst thing, the worst word in any video game is the word deadline. To me, that just
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of the experience though. Like there's lots of games where so often things are a certain way because of the budgetary restrictions and because of the deadlines and um a lot of times it's like I don't know, like I think that restrictions can help projects sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes if you have too much money, things get very bloated.
yeah. It's like okay, let's throw this in there. Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
same with motion pictures too.
Yeah.
I think Larian did such a great job with Baldur's. I keep mentioning Baldur's because that's the latest game I'm still playing.
Mhm.
I'm at 700 hours and I was told by other people that I'm barely up to what they got, so it's bad. Um, but I think if COVID didn't happen, that game wouldn't be as good because people spend a lot more time reevaluating what should be put into it,
Yeah.
evaluating who should be playing this role and why that should be that.
Yeah. Well, they also use their resources really well. I know the mocap director there, and he's very talented with how they the cinematic director, excuse me. Yeah, he's excellent.
You're so smart.
Um, hmm?
You're so smart. They should hire you.
I have applied to Larian. I have just never heard anything back.
Sven, I'm talking to you now. I'm sure
It's all right. I've applied to a lot.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you'll be at the right place at the right time. It seems like to me that some of my favorite writers end up at places that I never would have thought they would have ended up at because they just met the right person, you know. And that one person said, I really need somebody to do this. I bet you could do it. And
Yeah. I mean, that's how all the freelance I'm doing right now is that.
it's astonishing. And as a creative person, do you only write or do you also do art and music and all that other stuff too, like the rest of us?
Mostly just writing. I can't draw anything. My wife is an artist, but not me.
How'd you guys meet? Video gaming.
Tumblr.
Okay, Cupid.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
It's like, where did you find it online?
Yeah. Whatever.
I want to get one free.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
had a coupon. I got married 4 times, so I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah. I've only been married the once.
So you're smart. You're so much smarter than me, and you're younger, and you have a bigger career. No, life is fun. You find the people you find because you need to find the people you find.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went there, but I just
Very deep.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I have any more to ask you. I'm sure we're going to get like 6,000 people asking you questions. Where can people contact you online if they want to hunt you down?
So I am on Bluesky. My @ is just Aysha Farah. It's just my name.
I'll have
I
that
have
on our website so people can find you there.
Yeah. I mostly just post on that. I don't
And
TikTok or anything.
She is hilarious.
Yeah, mostly it's just like whatever I'm currently playing. I just start like just a lot of Alan Wake recently and forever.
And it's just like every once in a while there'll be a zinger zap out comment. Like, oh, that was good. I like that one.
Yeah, that and a little bit of politics here and there.
Fuck Trump.
Yeah,
All I gotta say.
yeah, I'll also follow um the Sky Left Us, which is a game that we have coming out soon. The demo is out.
Writing is
Um
I was reading, I went through like first day, I think I went through, I don't know, for 600 120 minutes.
Oh, really?
For me, I'm like,
Oh, yeah, thank you.
it's a choice. Okay. Yeah, the characters are beautiful and
Oh, thank you.
I won't tell anybody what it's about.
Well, I mean, it's about a climate scientist who goes to an alien planet to fix their climate and then instead gets embroiled in local politics.
Which I thought was very appropriate for this time of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And the green
Yeah,
fog is everywhere.
Oh yeah, the haze.
Yes.
Yep.
I think people will love it because your writing is gorgeous, and you also did more than just write on it, right? Didn't you?
I was the narrative director, so I did a lot of I oversaw the other writers, and I've also was one of the 3 people who like kind of conceived of it. And I also do a lot of putting codes in spreadsheets.
Yay!
Yeah, that's like I tweeted something that was like, or Blue Skied it. It was like my dad's friend was like, "Oh, video game writing, that's so glamorous." And I'm like, "Yeah," as I copy and paste another thing into a spreadsheet. Yep.
It's the glamorous life we love, kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Aysha, you have been an absolutely fabulous, awesome human being. I'm gonna let everybody know to visit our website so they can get the links to your Bluesky account if you haven't already heard her name 100 times. Um, and we will make sure that people do get that game when it comes out, because it will come out. It's well worth it if you like visual novels, especially. It reminded me a lot of oh, I can't remember the writer. I'm so bad at. I had an interview this morning and I had all these names in my head. Now I have nobody in my head. But it reminds me a lot of some of the Japanese visual novels I've been reading the last few years. A lot of the web
Yeah.
stuff, which is gorgeous material, and the drawings are gorgeous too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the artists did a wonderful job.
Yeah, everything about it is just like, oh, this is great eye candy and it's great mind candy, which I loved. And you don't have to worry about, piss test afterwards. Good. So this, my friends, has been the Anti-Social Hour-ish show in beautiful Vancouver, Washington. We hope you come by and see you next week. And if not, then load us up on your iPod or whatever you have. What do people use CDs nowadays? Your LP. Throw it on vinyl and listen to it in your car. And we'll talk to you when we talk to you.